Please mute your mic as soon as you join the call. Please, can you please mute your mic as soon as you join us on the call? We are starting now. 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 You are welcome to the ABCs of financial literacy. Welcome to the ABC of financial literacy. You're welcome once again to another webinar of Grip Plus Africa. My name is Ayodeji Olubade and I will be your host this evening. I hope you're excited to be here. I am excited to have you here today. If you are excited to be here, can you please drop your best emoji in the chat box? Drop your best emoji in the chat box. I promise you this webinar will be very, very interactive. You are going to learn practical things from this webinar. If you're excited to be here, can you please drop your best emoji in the chat box? So to kick things off, let's do a quick poll. How many of you feel confident about your financial knowledge? If you feel confident about your financial knowledge, can you please type 1 for yes and 2 for no? 2 for no. If you are confident about your financial knowledge, can you please type 1 for yes and 2 for no? All right, I can see Olamide on the call. Olamide Muyolua. I can see Famous Sosa, Lanre Oladipo. I can see Musa Zira. I can see Owolabi Temitope. You're welcome. Ojo Anjola Jesu, Joseph Cooper. I can see Joseph Cooper. I think Joseph Cooper is from Netherlands. You're welcome on the call. You're welcome. All right. If you are confident of your financial knowledge, please type 1 for yes and 2 for no. Okay. So the question is, why are we bringing this webinar to you? So this session is basically designed to help you enhance your understanding of financial concepts that empowers you to make informed decision, for a long-term financial stability and success. And I bet it with you today, you are going to have, we are going to be having an exciting time together. We are also, I'm also excited. We are excited to have our special guest speaker with us, Mrs. Olamide Alao Akala, who will be sharing our insight on the topic ABCs of financial literacy. We have question and answer at the end of the, whole session. But before that, I quickly want to share with us the housekeeping rules. So as we get started, first of all, please make sure you are muted. Make sure you are muted. We don't want anybody to, disturb our session. Make sure you mute your microphone when you are not speaking, just to minimize a little bit of, just to minimize any background noise or distraction. Also, feel free to use the chat function throughout this meeting, to share your thoughts and ask questions. Well, I will be monitoring that closely, so you don't have any problem with that. Then also, just as I said the other time, at the end of our session, we are going to have a question and answer where everyone can ask their question. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. Are you excited to Are you excited to, to listen to her tonight? Are you excited to listen to her this evening? If you're excited, can you drop your best emoji in the chat box? Let me see your best emoji in the chat box. If you're excited, uh, before I introduce our guest speaker, if you're excited, let me see. I'm looking at the chat box. Okay, Owolabi, I can see your reaction. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right. I don't want to waste our time. So let me quickly do a little bit of introduction. So Mrs. Olamide Alao Akala is a Nigerian businesswoman and CEO of conglomerate Umera Farms based in Oyo State. Growing up in a political active family, she learned the value of public service and sustainable development early on. She's popularly known as Iyalaje, meaning businesswoman. That's for people that are not in Nigeria. Iyalaje means businesswoman. During an education, Olamide is passionate about revolutionizing Nigeria's agricultural sector. She founded Umera Farms to promote sustainable practices and food sovereignty. A shareholder in various companies and board members of Olowolagba Microfinance Bank. She also leads TDB Global Ventures, an advises firm in energy and construction. Olamide empowers women through the CEO Women Program and is a certified leadership consultant. With great joy, can we please welcome our guest speaker, Mrs. Olamide Alao Akala, as she takes us on a journey of financial literacy. If you're happy to be here, can you drop your best emoji one more time as we welcome our guest speaker, Mrs. Olamide Alao. You're welcome, ma. You can have the floor, ma.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
You're
So,
welcome.
yes, thank you for having me. And thank you for putting this together because this is something that is not being taught in schools. And this is very important for everyone to understand and know, especially from a very young age. Because a lot of people are so focused on how do I make money? How do I make money? How do I make money? They never think of how do I multiply my wealth? How do I manage the money that I'm making? And then you make this money before the end of the month, the money you made is already gone. So it's very important that we're talking about financial literacy. But before I start, to those of you that are in the room, can you please, sorry, to the moderator, can you please unmute their mics? I want to hear everybody say
Okay.
something because I like to know that I'm speaking to people who are in a room.
Okay. Okay. So
Can you
can
just
you please
unmute them
unmute
for
your
like 30
okay.
seconds?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everyone, you can unmute your mic now.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello. If you can turn on your camera, no problem. But if you can just say something. I want to know that I'm not in the room alone. So please, can you just say something? I need some energy. I need some energy from you guys.
Okay, you can unmute your mic now, everyone.
Unmute your mic. Can I hear you say yay, yay?
Yeah.
I need to know that there are people in the house. And I like to interact when I'm teaching. I like to people to talk back to me when I'm asking a few questions and the likes. So before I start, I like to ask a question. What is financial literacy to you guys? What do you think financial literacy is? What do you think it is? Can somebody just take a shot at it?
So you can unmute your mic and, if you want to answer the question, you can unmute your mic. Or you can drop your answer in the chat box.
Hey, I'm not answering my question. You guys have to say something.
You can drop your answers in the chat box or mute your mic to speak.
At least ask ChatGPT. You can even cheat. You can ask Google. You can ask ChatGPT to tell you what is financial literacy and just say it out. No one has the confidence to speak up in this room.
Someone said, I think I never managed it so far. That's Josie
It
and
doesn't
Cuba.
matter. Just what does it mean to you? What does financial
So
literacy mean to you? What does it mean to you?
I
You see,
think
that's why I don't.
that you
Thank you.
are financially stable and that you have money at the end of the month, that you're not going in debt every month.
Okay. Okay. Can somebody else? Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Can somebody else take a shot at it as well? Because that was the co-host that just spoke. If I'm correct.
no, this is Josie and Cuba from Netherlands.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right. So can somebody else say something? So she's the only one that's going to speak up in this class. Okay, no problem. I find it difficult to teach in classes that are very not responsive. It's not a good thing, and that's one of the reasons why I don't even like online classes. But anyways, we'll go at it. Just so you know, I'm at the Afrexim Bank conference that is happening in Abuja at the moment, and I had to take a break to come into my car to come and teach this class. So I'm not going to be spending a lot of time. But basically, financial literacy is understanding money. Is understanding money. People need to understand money because money is just a tool. And most people do not understand it. And that is why a lot of people live for it. And there's a difference between living for money and understanding money. Because when you live for money, what you do is you work for it. And when you work for that money and you make that money, you spend that money without understanding what you're spending that money on. It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people in our community, both home and abroad. People will just make money, and by the end of the month, they discover that they're either in debt or they don't have enough money to carry them through the next month. That is because they've not been able to manage what they have. Now, some people will say the money I make is too small. Oh, this person makes 300,000. This person makes 400,000. That is why they can save some money. That is why they can invest their money. That's why they can multiply their money. But that is not what it is. It simply means that they are disciplined enough. Because for somebody who is making 50,000 naira or even 20,000 naira, there's always a way to manage your money. There's always a way to manage your money. And there are 3 M's to money. They're making money, which is the very first part, which is what a lot of people do. Everybody, about 70 to 80% of the people make money. They know how to make money. All you need to do is go and apply for a job. And you are getting paid at the end of the month. People make money that way. And there's some people who are entrepreneurs who are making money. So there are people who are making money either through businesses or through employment. But that doesn't mean that you will become rich overnight. Because I've heard a lot of people say, the reason why you're not making why you don't have so much money is because you're not an entrepreneur. Because you're working for someone. It does not matter. Because either you are an employer or you are an employee, it doesn't make any difference if all you know how to do is make money, which is the basic level about money. Now, management of money. Managing money is when you understand how to appropriate your funds. When you say, okay, I make 20,000 naira, 1,000 naira is going to go to this, 2,000 naira is going to go to food stuff, 1,000 naira is going to go to maybe towards my rent, savings towards my rent or my lease. Another 2,000 naira is going to go towards this. That is managing the money. You're understanding how to budget your funds. Do you get? There are people like that who are smart enough to know how to manage their money. So you manage your money, you're not in debt, but you know that I'm making 20K, I'm making 50K, and I know how to spend this money across different levels. But now there's the third level, which is multiplying your money. And not so many people, very few people, I will say maybe about 5% understand how to multiply money. The other day I was in my office and I was trying to, because sometimes I sit my staff down and I just teach them how to allow money work for them. Because when you work for money, you have to get to a stage in your life where money begins to work for you. Now, if you don't allow money work for you, you are wasting your time, because you will work for money for the rest of your life and you might not be fulfilled. So money has to work for you. So I was asking them, I'll give an example. Do any one of you have real estate? And then I just had 2 hands raised up in the office that had real estate. Please give me a minute. I'm coming. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
It's
So I
okay.
had
It's
only
okay, ma.
about 2 of them. I had only about 2 of them raise up their hand to say, oh, that they bought land. And they're like, I said, okay, so what are you doing with the land that you have bought? They're not doing anything with it. When I was growing up, look, I will tell you one thing today. Financial literacy is not for people that went to school. I have seen people who did not go to school at all, but understand financial literacy. That man in your neighborhood that works as a driver, because I've seen a driver do this, live and direct, that works as a driver. And out of every salary he gets every month, it takes at least 20 to 35% of that salary to buy block, to buy cement, and he's raising those blocks. And after 24 months or 36 months, you see that he has had like 6 face me, I face you. He has had 6 face me, I face you. And now he's collecting rent of maybe 50,000 naira per annum from each of his tenants. He has 6 tenants and he's collecting 50,000 naira from one room. And that is 6 rooms. That is 300,000 naira per annum. Now, when he gets that 300,000 naira, he's looking for another land to buy. And then he's take out of his salary to buy another set of blocks and cement, and he starts building little by little. Now, that is financial literacy, because you cannot use your 10 fingers to eat. You cannot make money and eat everything and phew. You have to set some aside that would later turn into assets that will work for you and pay you in the future. Now, before you know what's happened, after like 15 years of service as a driver, you find out that this man has 30 rooms of face me, I face you. It took him a long time to build those 30 rooms. But then you are making like maybe 180,000 naira or 150,000 naira, and you say, oh, that money is too small. It's simply because you lack discipline. So for you to be able to multiply money, you need some level of discipline to be able to do that. I will repeat myself. You don't have to go to school to understand financial literacy. You don't. You just have to be hungry enough to seek for knowledge, to say, how do I make sure that I am okay in the future? And one of the best ways, which is the only way I'm going to give you this afternoon, because there are other several ways that you can make your money work for you. One of the best ways to make money work for you is through investment in real estate. I have never seen it fail anybody. From the driver of a company to the CEO of an organization, I have never seen it fail. So people say, land is too expensive, land is too expensive. I just gave you the story of a driver who is buying land in the local area. Do you think that local people are not paying rent? They are paying rent. So you don't have to go and look for the flashy area to say, oh, that's why I want to start buying properties. No. So I sat my staff down and I told them, I said, go to the interior. You don't have to start in the eyebrow areas. No. you can walk yourself up to that area. I told another story of a banker who I met. And this banker went into the interior to buy property. And he built a bungalow. One was 3-bedroom flat, the other two was 2-bedroom flat. He moved his family into the 2-bedroom flat and he rented out the 3-bedroom flat. Out of the rent, and it took him about 5 years to finish building what I'm talking about. Out of the rent he collected from the second flat, he started building again, a duplex. And then he was still using part of his salary to build. It took him another like 3 years to finish that duplex. Because at this point, he was already getting promoted at work. His wife was also getting promotion at work. So they had more money. So the more money you get, you must increase the amount of money you are investing in your future. Because for you to multiply money, for you to understand finances, for you to understand finances, you have to do. And you have to start doing. If after today, because I've said very little, if after today you leave this class and you don't make that commitment to say, in this little money I am making, I want to set aside something to multiply, to take care of my future. If you don't make that commitment, it simply means that you're not ready. It simply means that you're not ready to understand what it means to be financially literate. Because like I said, you cannot know it in one day. You have to scatter your seeds. It's a principle. By the way, if you can, I don't know, you can get a copy of my book. It's called The Rich Christian. It's online. You can get the ebook. It's so cheap. I think it's about maybe 2K or 3K. I can't remember how much it is. But it's online. And you would understand better. It will help you to reshape your mindset. It would help you work up on your mindset and see, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? Because the principle of making wealth, of creating wealth, comes from scattered seeds. You have to scatter your seeds. And some would yield results, some would not yield results. That's another part for another day. I cannot even be talking about that right now. But I'll just tell you this for free. Not every money you invest will make more money for you. You will lose some money. But it's in the losing some money that you understand that, okay, I need not to do this again and focus on this. So by the time it was the 7th or 8th, it was the 8th year when this guy had built that bungalow, then built a duplex. At this point in time, the property in that area, I think the government brought a GRA to that area, and the property in that area just shot up. A land that he bought for like 250,000 naira was now selling for 12 million. And this I'm talking about 7 years ago. So as of today, that property is probably going for as high as maybe 25 million. Land only, not the property on it. Land only. So if you choose to be financially literate, these are the kind of decisions that you will make with yourself. And say that even though I am young, even though I am 18, even though I'm 20, 21, 22, I want to make sure that out of every single money that I make, I'm setting something aside for real estate so that I'm able to multiply my funds. Another way you can make money, another way you can make money work for you is mutual funds. But I'm not going to dive into that because you need to go and research. You need to go and find out yourself. You need to be hungry. You need to want to know more and say, okay, because see, what we do today to inspire people is just to ignite something in you, ignite something in your brain, and let there be an awakening and say, okay, I need to know more. And this is exactly what I've come here to do this evening. So after this class, you want to go back yourself and say, okay, how do I multiply this little money? I want to be setting aside 10,000 every month. How do I multiply? I want to be setting aside so amount of money every month. How do I multiply? You can say, oh, the only money I can take out is 10,000 every month. Join a cooperative. Even if it takes you the next 3 years to gather 300,000 from a cooperative with 10,000 or so whatever, a cooperative will still loan you money, and then you'll be paying back the 10,000 every month with little or no interest, depending on the cooperative you join. So you want to make smart money moves, and that is what financial literacy is all about. Making smart money moves. Like I said in the beginning, you make money, you manage money, and then you multiply it. So in that quota of management, you have to make sure that you are cutting aside, you're cutting a part of your income for multiplication. for investment, saying that this money I've made, even if it is gold you want to buy, even if you say, okay, I don't understand real estate, I want to buy gold bars. But I mean, I'm talking to young people here. We have not even gotten to that part. I'm talking to young people here. So, but you see, the problem we have these days is that you guys want to do CBEX. You guys want to do quick money. You guys want to do cryptocurrency. You guys want to do, I'm not saying crypto is bad, but you have to get to a certain stage in your life where you can say, okay, for instance, me, if my cousin, my little brother comes to meet me, my little cousins come and say, Auntie Lamide, do this crypto to work, do this. I know that if I put this 100,000 naira and the money gets missing, I won't be bothered. I can say, okay, I will do it with 100,000 naira and do it. But at the end of the day, I have not really, if the money goes, I have not really lost anything. Because I know that it was money that would not harm me if it doesn't come back. If it doesn't come back, this money that won't harm me. So that is the kind of money I'll put in that business. But you guys are so young for you to be taking such risk. And that is why I'm only giving you the option of real estate today, because real estate is the safest asset that you can use to multiply your money. Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. And I don't want you guys to take it for granted. I don't want you to guys to keep it granted. You see a man who did not go to school, who is selling just nails in the market, selling just maybe building materials, and you see that he has property this, he has property here, he has property here, and he's collecting rent. I was speaking to someone, I was teaching a class, and a random guy in the class said he was trying to get to a point where he's making 3 million naira in rents annually. And let me tell you something, by the time that guy hits that goal of making 3 million naira annually from rent, he will shoot another goal and say, okay, I want to start making 10 million naira in rent. By the time he start making 10 million naira rent, he will say, I want to start making 15 million naira in rent. So if you do not achieve 300,000 naira in rent, if you do not achieve 500,000 naira in rent, you will not wake up one day and say you want to do 3 million. You will not wake up one day and say you want to do 10 million. You will not wake up one day and say you want to do 15 million. And financial literacy is all about numbers. So you just need to sit down and say, okay, how do I put these numbers together? How do I punch my numbers? How do I make sure that, okay, this is what I'm earning. This is what I spend money on monthly. These are my essentials. This is not important. Eating out right now is not a smart money move. So I don't want to eat out. I don't want to go and waste 5,000 naira in that restaurant. Do you know how many blocks that 5,000 naira will buy? At least as of today, 5,000 naira will buy half a bag of cement. That's what it will buy. So would you rather spend that 5,000 naira on a plate of rice, or you buy the half bag of cement, or you buy the 8 blocks you can buy, or 10 blocks you can buy? So you want to start doing something. You want to. At this point, I think I want to hear from the class. I just want somebody to say something, because I feel like I'm just speaking to myself, and I like back and forth. I like people speaking to me when I'm teaching.
Okay, you can unmute your mic now if you want to say something. You can unmute your mic if you want to. Maybe if you want to ask any question, or maybe something is not clear to you. You can unmute your mic right now. This
You guys are
class
not giving me. This class is so boring. You guys are not giving me any form of energy.
This class is an interactive class. Please unmute your mic if you have anything to say or share with our speaker. If you have any question to ask our speaker, can you please unmute your mic? Unmute your mic right now. Okay, if you don't have any question, okay. Okay, someone said, I am processing what you are saying.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Hello, good evening. I
Good
just
evening.
joined few minutes, and even though from what I've heard, I don't think I'm at position to ask questions, but I just want to throw in something real quick.
Yeah.
Um, you know, most times like it's very easy to sit down and listen to, a lot of things or a lot of talks, or should I say, messages on how to, start working your way to financial prosperity and all of that. So I just have two questions. One, because I don't know how you have started, but I just hope you would shed light on number one, how do you or what or how would you talk to someone who is actually starting from the scratch, like you're starting from having let me just say nothing per se. Probably you have or you're in a job and you're not even earning up to 50,000 naira per month, and you want to start working your way to financial freedom. And secondly, for me, I
I
had
didn't get your question. Okay.
okay, I said, what would be your advice, or what would you say to someone who is starting out from the scratch? Like as a youth,
Mm-hmm.
you're just earning around 50,000 naira
Mm-hmm.
monthly, and you want to work your way up to financial freedom, financial education, and all of that, given the situation of the country and all that. So, where do you start?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? How do you leverage, and the rest of them? And secondly, I would also want to share from a personal experience in the real estate space. So I had started out trying to buy a land and was paying instrumentally. Along the line, I now found out that there were hidden charges that I did not even know, I was not even aware of at the very beginning. So saying real estate is the safest form of investment one can do. So how can one avoid those pitfalls? Because I've been a victim, I've been there. Like money just kept increasing, but that was not what was in the agreement. So how can one avoid such kind of thing from happening um to them?
Did you buy this online?
No, it wasn't online. Okay, do you mean okay? I knew the person, but we communicated via WhatsApp most of the time.
You see
So
that? Did
I
you go and
didn't.
visit the land?
No, I did not. I did not.
Did you ask questions?
Yes, I did. I asked to the best of
And
my.
did you do your due diligence?
Maybe that I would say no, because it
Exactly.
was my first time. I don't know what questions to ask and all of those
Mm.
things. Yes. So
So
that's why I'm
when you
asking.
have that's a whole different ball game entirely.
Okay.
So I always tell people, as a young person, you want to buy land. Look for somebody who is elderly in your family, who has experience. Don't think
Oh,
that you can do it by yourself because there are a lot of scams out there. There's nothing you want to do that does not have scam. I'm telling you. Even if you want to buy ordinary fuel into your car, you're thinking, oh, I want to go to that filling station because I believe that their pump price is better. Their pump is better. I don't want to go there because I believe that when they sell to me, they're probably selling me half a liter at the full price. I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying.
yes,
So
yes.
there is scam everywhere in every single industry, even in the hospital industry. They will want to run a test that they don't need to run on you just because they want to make money off you.
True,
So
you're
you have
right.
to be careful. Everything that you want to do, you have to make sure that you do due diligence. You cannot be buying land and just buy it like that and think you want to trust a person. I've seen so many young people that have been scammed off land, what's it called? Land sales, land deals, and they've
Okay.
been scammed. So you want to make sure that you do your due diligence next time. Don't just go in blindly. Ask a lot of questions. Ask. Involve somebody that's elderly in your family that has experience in what you want to do. Because there's some elderly people that can still be scammed. It's not by age, it's by experience. That's
Okay.
number one. Number two, your other question, how do you walk up with 50,000 naira? Now, the first thing I'll say is, if you are in this room and you are earning 100,000 naira and below, eh, the first thing you
Mhm.
want to do is make sure that you invest in yourself.
Okay.
That's the first thing you want to do. And one of the ways to invest in yourself is what you're doing right now, being in this class, being a part of this class that has been put together by this organization. That is one of the first ways. Another way is paying, actually paying. Because I believe this class is free, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Actually paying.
Yes.
Because see, when you go for a paid class, it's different from a free class.
Mm.
It's different. Actually pay to invest in yourself. Then you skill up. Because you need to skill up to be able to earn more. I will not try and pretend to you and say, oh, you can become rich by making just maybe 50,000 every month. No, you can't. It will take a very long time because of the inflation we have in the country at the moment. If this were like 5 years ago, I'll say, okay. But now you have to have that, you have to also be disciplined to make sure that you're still saving, despite the fact that the money is small, you still have to be disciplined to save some money. If you're saving 20,000 naira every month from 50K salary, at the end of the year, that is over 200,000 naira. And if you are paying that, if you're saving that money into a cooperative, at the beginning of the following year, they can double that money for you, or even triple. Some cooperatives will give you triple of your money. Some cooperatives will give you double of your money.
Mm.
And that money can still buy land. That money can still buy land. So whilst you are saving a little bit of money, putting a little bit of money outside towards a goal, you want to make sure that you're also investing in yourself so that you can skill up. So that you can skill up and so that you can demand more in the future. I like to share my screen. I don't know if I can share my screen. Start.
You can share your screen, man.
Can you see my screen?
No, we can't see your screen at the moment.
You can't see my screen at the moment. Oh God, what did I do?
Yes.
Share. Screen. Entire screen. Start. Can you see my screen now?
No, we can't see
No,
your screen.
no, it's just a photo of you.
It's not.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not sharing.
Okay, you can send it to. You
Is
can
it
send
sharing
it
now?
to us.
Okay, you know what? I'll just read out from the slides. I wanted you to actually visualize it. So I mentioned to you
Okay.
before that you have to scatter your seeds and all of that. There's something I call the multiplier effect. To every man is given an ability. That ability is a seed. Your income, whatever you get from your income, whatever you take out of it that you want to invest is a seed. Out of every harvest is another seed to be planted. Make sure that you always replant it. I hope you got that.
Yes.
That is where the multiplier effect comes from. That is where the compound effect comes from. So I mentioned, now I'll give you that story again. I gave you a story of a man who is a driver, who out of his salary was making sure that he was setting aside money just to build a 6-room face me, I face you. And after building that 6-room, face me, I face you, he took the rents from that money. He didn't say, oh, I've made 300,000 naira. I'm going to go and say, I want to go and buy. He didn't take that 300,000 naira and say, oh, I want to go and buy so for myself. He took that 300,000 naira and that was a seed. That was an harvest, sorry. And he replanted that harvest again. And yet he was still taking out of his monthly harvest and was putting in the new project. That is where the multiplier effect comes in from. So you have to make sure that out of every harvest, you take out a seed that you want to replant. I'm a farmer. And just this afternoon, I was talking to one of the supervisor in charge of our rice project. And supervisor was telling me that they were going to mill some rice, but that they were going to keep at least 20 bags of rice paddies for planting. He was just giving me the report. So it simply means that out of the harvest that we made, we are going to process some and sell them. But out of that same harvest, we have kept some that we're going to replant when the time comes. to replant. That is the attitude you want to have towards money. So that your harvest can be bountiful. A lot of people just focus on the money I make now. And the next thing you want to do is you want to do Ashwebi. You don't think of the future money. You don't think of accumulation of money. You don't think of multiplication of money. You only think of, oh, the money I want to spend now. The money I want to go and use to do eyebrow. The money I want to go and use to do eyelashes. The money I want to go and use to do fine boy. The money I want to use to buy the purse that is raining that men carry now. Or that shoe that you have been eyeing that you want to buy. You have to deprive yourself of things like that for a while. I'm not saying they are bad, but you have to deprive yourself of things like that for a while. So some of the money mistakes people make is that I'll start saving when I make more money. I've said that earlier on. Don't start until you start making more money. Even though you're making just 50,000 naira, take something out of that 50,000 naira and save. Take out of it and save. Because the day goes by very fast. And he who is faithful in little will be faithful in much. Because it becomes a force of habit. That out of every money you make, you want to take something out of it. But if it doesn't become a force of habit, there is no how you want to maintain it. Another financial mistake that some of we Nigerians make is the entitlement mentality. Expecting somebody to pick up your bills, pick up your responsibility. You bite more than you can chew. There's some people that will get married, don't have a plan, start having kids, don't have a plan. And you're going to be burdening, you're going to put the burden on somebody, oh, pay my school fees, pay my this, pay my that, pay my children's school fees. You don't want to do that. You don't want to expect somebody to pay your bills. No. And I've seen that is a cultural problem. And there needs to be a cultural shift. There needs to be a shift in mindset to say that I will take care of my finances. I will take care of myself so that I'm able to do all of these things. I don't have this entitlement mentality. So I don't become a black tax person. Somebody who keeps asking this and this and that for money. No. It simply means that person has no plan for their lives. And a fool with a plan. Listen to me, oh. A fool, an uneducated person who has a plan is better than a genius without a plan. If you like, come out of school with first class. Because I've seen people come out of school with first class and don't have a plan for themselves. Yes, people who did not go to school have plans. There will be good times in life. There will be bad times in life. You want to make sure that you're saving money for the raining day. Because it is the wise people. It is the wise people. Wise people who become wealthy. But anybody who spends all the money that they get are considered fools. And people who live above what they earn. False living. Because you want to fit in. Because you want to be part of those people. You don't want to be left out. You don't want to experience FOMO, fear of missing out. So you want to just borrow money, extra money that you do not have to go and do the wrong things. Borrowing money is not a bad thing. I'm at the Afrexim Global Conference in Abuja, and we talked about lending money we talked about using capital for the right things. We talked about being loan ready, being able to collect loan to build industries. So there's nothing wrong with borrowing money, but borrowing money for the right things and not borrowing money for the wrong things. If I don't go to that girl's party, if I don't I want to buy, I need to buy gas into my car. I'm traveling to Akure for a party. Must you go if you cannot afford it? Must you go? Those are the baby steps you make, baby decisions you make to creating a bulletproof for your finances. Those are the bulletproofs you make. And you want to make sure that you are taking account of everything that you do with your money, down to the last couple. Down to the last couple. Because you're thinking of your future. You're thinking of the freedom that you want. You're thinking of the family that you want to build. Anyways, I feel like I've been I feel like I've said a lot, and I want you guys to come in and say something.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma,
I feel
for
like I've said
the
a lot.
insight. Yes. Thank you so much, Ma, for the amazing insight. We have a couple of questions in the chat box.
Okay, how do
I
I
don't know if
access
you.
that?
Okay,
Okay.
so I think I'll just.
Okay, I've seen it. I've seen the chat
Okay.
box.
Okay. So the
Okay.
first question says, how can someone with a limited income begin to invest or build wealth without taking high risks?
I've said that already. I've said that already. I answered that question already.
Yeah.
Yes, I answered that question already.
Then there's another question from
How is your
Joseph.
view of investing in
Okay.
people instead of property? I think it's more rewarding. Oh yes. Oh yes. See, for every when it comes to investments, investing, there are different stages to it. So if you are young and upcoming, it is impossible for you to invest in other people. I have gotten to a stage in my life where I invest in people
Mm.
instead of property. I invest in property, but I still invest in people. I've seen people will come to me, come with bright ideas, and if I think that the idea is laudable, I think it's beautiful, I think it would solve problems, and I think it would change lives, which is more important. I invest in it. I invest in it. But if you are young and just starting out, you want to make sure that you invest in yourself first before you can invest in other people. Because if you have not invested in yourself, you don't have anything to give.
That's right.
So investing in people comes at a certain point in your life. But I want to believe that this class is for the youths, for the young people,
Yes.
and who are not yet ready to invest in other people. When they get to that stage of their life, because they're seeking knowledge, because they're growing every day, you get to a point in your life when you know that, okay, yes, you need to start investing in people. And it's not only about, it's not just money. What I am doing today, right now, right here, is investing in you.
That's right.
So the other question is, I would also love to ask this: how can young entrepreneurs manage personal and business finances without mixing them up? Now you need to get a consultant to do this for you. You need to get somebody to do this for you. You need to get an account, even if you cannot afford to pay an accountant. Get an accountant who is a friend and sit down with them and finger their brain. Because a lot of people will mix up personal finances with business finances and put the burden of their personal life on the business, and the business will fail. So you want to get a smart accountant who is your friend, or somebody you can just pay a stipend that can help you separate the two and let you know that this is how much you can pay yourself from this business. And you cannot go beyond that, no matter what, or else the business will collapse. So I hope I've answered all the questions. I think I have.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think I have.
Yes. One more question from us. I believe this question will help a lot of participants. Okay, so the question is, how can a young person envision his financial future? How can a young person envision his or her financial future in maybe in 5 to 10 years?
So you want to sit down, because we are all different people. You understand? And you want to map out what are the goals that you want for yourself. What goals? What are you looking at? What do you want to achieve? Don't even go 10 years yet. What do you want to achieve in the next 2 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 2 years? Where would you want to be in the next 2 years? Where would you want to be in the next 5 years of your life? When you're able to determine that, you then determine, okay, for me to be here, how much will I need to get to this place that I want to be in? Because everybody has different journeys, everybody has different stories. Everybody is curating a different story. Where I want to be in the next 5 years, probably might need maybe a billionaire to be there. Where somebody else wants to be in the next 5 years, the person probably needs maybe just 10 million naira to be there. So we're curating different stories. So now if you not determine where you want to be in the next 2 to 5 years, and you say, okay, this is how much I will need to be in that particular space. What am I doing now that will help me to get to that particular goal. And now goes back to what I said before. When you're able to answer these questions, this will now determine the kind of investment you make in yourself. I am a makeup artist, and I make an average of maybe, I do an average of maybe 20 people in a month. And that is maybe at 20,000 naira. And I make maybe, that's 20 times 10, that's about 400,000 naira in a month. And you want to be at a place where you're able to have a portfolio of 50 million in the next 2 years. So you want to sit down, be practical, and punch the numbers and say, okay, 400,000 naira in a month. In the next 12 months, how much is that? In the next 2 years, how much is that? Does it get me to my goal? Yes. Does it get me to my goal? No. Okay, what do I need to do differently to make sure that I get to that goal? And mind you, it's not all of that 400,000 that you want to calculate over the next 4 or 5 years. It is what you are taking out of it to save that you want to determine, because you also have living expenses. You also have emergency expenses. So it is what you're saving that you want to calculate. But maybe out of that 400K monthly, it is maybe 100,000 naira you're saving. So you want to calculate that 100,000 naira in the next 5 years. Where does it get you? Does it get you to the right number to be able to invest in what you want to invest in? So it's all about the numbers. It's all about sitting down and punching the numbers. And sometimes you want to sit down with someone to help you to figure these things out. I hope today I've been able to plant a seed in you. And I hope that that seed grows and germinates and brings out a worthy fruit. Thank you so much. Have I answered your question?
Yes, thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. I think someone has, there's a question for you, Ma. Chioma Cynthia, are you ready for your question?
Okay, no, it's not much of a question. I
Okay.
I just wanted to just like from experience on the question someone asked about how one can separate business, business finances from personal finances. And I just wanted to say it boils down to bookkeeping, because I can say from experience, like before we had maybe professional people who do book records and the rest of them. I remember one of a conversation I was having with one of my friends who was he was a well-established businessman, and was telling me how that when he started out, he was keeping records of everything down to even the money that is being spent. Say, for instance, he wants to travel and then he maybe buys bread on the road that he's taking home to his people. All those things enter into the books. So I believe it boils down to, taking account of every money that is made and how it goes out. And even if you don't even want to maybe start drawing on paper and having to maybe get a sales record and all of these things, I believe we have computer programs like the MS Office Excel package. It's very, very simple to use. Like with a couple of YouTube videos, you could know how to navigate and just keep records of money that is you're making from the business and how you are spending it. I believe when you have kept record and kept track of things, then you can know where your money is going, and it will help to figure out how much you are making as profit and how much you should set aside for yourself and how much you should put back into the business, even without having to maybe consult a financial expertise. That Uh, Hello.
Yeah, your
Hello?
comment. Yeah, excellent. You're very right.
Thank you.
I
I
thought it
thought I was
was
muted
turn.
No,
along.
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
Okay.
no,
Yeah,
sorry.
what you said, that's exactly what it is. Because if you don't keep your records, if you have an accountant come and help you to look at your books and you don't have records to show them, excellent advice. They need to keep their records in order to make sure that they have something to show the accountant when they take a look, so that they are able to analyze and draw up um strategies for the business. Draw up, okay, how do you get paid? How do you not get paid? And all of that. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being in this class. I have to run now.
Thank you.
Um, Thank you so much for having me. And I hope
Thank
that
you.
the seed that has been planted today would germinate and bring forth fruits. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ma, for sharing valuable insight with us. Remember, financial intelligence is a journey and every step counts. But before we go, can we quickly do a quick recap of what she has shared with us? Uh, I think one of the first things she shared is that financial literacy is understanding money. And another thing that she shared with us uh, is that uh, we have three M's of money. We have three M's of money. The first one is making money. The second one is managing money, while the third one is multiplying money. And she was able to dwell much on multiplying money. And one of the things she talked about in terms of multiplying money, she doubled down on real estate. Uh, Thank you so much, Mrs. Olamide Alao Akala, for your time. We really appreciate it. We at Great Plus Africa, we appreciate you for your time. And thank you everyone for joining the call. Thank you for participating in today's webinar. Thank you for this engaging session. I hope we all had a nice time. This webinar is brought to you by Great Plus Africa. Great Plus Africa helps you discover your career path, explore the options, and acquire the skills you need to realize your dream. If you are interested in our book, she shared our book with us. You can check the chat box to see what she has shared with us. I think the book cost, the cost of the book is 3,000 naira or so, but you can check the book you can check the chat box for the name of the title of the book is The Rich Christian. Why are some Christians so I think the cost of the book is I think 3,000. Check that online. You can always check for more of our resources on that on our platform. If you are interested in a webinar like this, you can join our community. We have we have amazing resources coming up still coming up this year in our community. You can always join our community. And thank you, everyone. Once again, I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar. It was really engaging, and I believe we have been able to learn one or two things. If you have anything to share with us, maybe you have a suggestion, you have anything you think we can, add to the webinar, or kind of anything you want to share with us, basically, you can always send us a message. You can reach out to us. You can also follow us on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our LinkedIn. Thank you once again for joining us. Have a wonderful day and take care. Thank you for joining.